The Amish, they do things different. No electric lines buzzing over their heads. No glowing refrigerators humming in the kitchen. Just hands, hard work, and the kind of knowledge passed down generation to generation. When it comes to raising meat and dairy, they stick to the old ways. Not because they have to, but because they choose to. The fields, the barns, the animals. Out here, where the land stretches wide, the Amish raise their animals the way their great-great-grandfathers did. Big red barns, wooden fences, the smell of fresh hay in the air, thick and sweet. No fancy feedlots. No concrete-floored sheds packed with animals that never see the sun. The cows? They graze. Real grass, not some factory-made pellet feed. Their pigs? Rooting around in the dirt, digging up whatever they find. Chickens? Pecking at bugs, scratching the ground, free as they were meant to be. The animals live well. And when the time comes, they die well too. Quick, respectful. No industrial machines whirring. No conveyor belts moving bodies down a line. Just hands, knives, skill. Milking by hand every day. Ever milked a cow by hand? It's a rhythm, a ritual. Early morning, before the sun's up, hands grip the udder, squeeze, pull, release. A steady stream hits the metal pail. Warm, frothy. No pumps. No mechanical suction. Just hands, work worn and steady. Some Amish, the ones that bend a little to modernity, might use a gas-powered milking machine, just to make things a little easier. But most, they keep it simple, slow, the way it's always been done. It's not about efficiency. It's about the animal, about the process, about keeping that connection. And the milk, oh, the milk. Thick, creamy, no ultra-pasteurization, no stripping away the taste. You leave that milk sitting for a bit, and a thick layer of cream rises to the top. Good for butter, good for cheese, good for just scooping up and eating with a spoon. No fridges, no problem. But how do they keep it? That's the question, isn't it? No refrigeration. No big stainless steel coolers humming in the background. Just cold, clever methods that have worked for centuries. Spring houses. Ever heard of them? A little stone building built right over a natural spring. The cold water runs through, chilling whatever's set in its path. Metal jugs of milk. Wheels of cheese. Everything stays cool, fresh, ready. And if you're deeper in the countryside, you might see an ice house. Big blocks of ice, cut straight from frozen lakes in the winter, packed with sawdust, lasting through the heat of summer. The Amish store their milk there, their meat, their butter. No flick of a switch needed. Just ice time patience. The churn, the butter, the work. Ever seen butter being made? Not in a factory, not in a plastic tub on a grocery store shelf, but real butter. Thick, golden, the kind that spreads soft, melts slow. The Amish, they churn it by hand. Cream goes in. The handle turns, and turns, and turns. It takes time. A lot of it. Arms ache. Shoulders burn. But then the butter forms. Thick clumps rising up, separating from the buttermilk. It's rinsed, salted, pressed into wooden molds. Nothing wasted. The buttermilk, poured into a glass jug, used for baking, for drinking, for making pancakes in the morning. Every part of it is used. That's how they live. No waste. No shortcuts. Just making the most of what they have. Cheese that tells a story. Cheese. Not the plastic-wrapped slices from a supermarket shelf. No neon orange blocks that taste like nothing. Real cheese. Sharp. Tangy. Aged in cellars in cool, dark places where time does the work. The process starts with fresh milk, warmed over a wood-burning stove. Rennet is added, natural, not synthetic, curdling the milk, thickening it. Curds are cut, drained, pressed, left to age on wooden shelves the way cheese was meant to be made. And the taste? It's something else, something real, something that took months, maybe years to come into its own. Some Amish families specialize in cheese making, pass their recipes down one to the next. Each batch a little different. Each wheel telling a story. Meat, raised right, preserved right. No freezers, no refrigerators. So how do they keep their meat from spoiling? Simple. The old ways. Salt. A lot of it. Meat is packed in thick layers of salt, pulling the moisture out, keeping it from rotting. Smoke. Hanging in wooden smokehouses, absorbing the rich, deep flavor of burning hickory, maple, applewood. Days, sometimes weeks of slow smoking, sealing in the taste, locking in the preservation. Canning. Ever had canned meat? Not the processed kind from a tin can at the store, but real meat, cooked, sealed in glass jars, stored in a root cellar. Open it up months later, and it's still good, still fresh, still ready to be eaten. Nothing wasted, everything used. The Amish don't throw things away. They don't let food go bad. A cow is butchered. Every part gets used. The bones? Turned into broth. The fat? Rendered into lard. The hide? Used for leather. A pig gets slaughtered, and not a scrap is wasted. The meat is cured, the organs eaten, the intestines cleaned and used for sausage casings. They don't have room for waste. Everything has a purpose. Everything has value. A community that feeds each other. When an Amish family butchers a cow, they don't keep it all for themselves. They share. They trade. They barter. One family raises chickens, another makes cheese, another grows vegetables. They come together, making sure no one goes without. And when it's time for a barn raising, a wedding, a funeral, the whole community comes together to cook. Massive kettles of stew, loaves of fresh bread, tables lined with home-cured meats, and thick slabs of cheese. They don't rely on grocery stores. They don't need supermarkets. They have each other. The lesson in all this: the world moves fast. Too fast. Everything's about convenience, about speed, about getting what you want when you want it. But the Amish? They live different. Slower. More deliberate. More connected. Raising their own meat and dairy isn't just about food. It's about a way of life. A belief that hard work matters. That patience pays off. That the best things take time. And maybe, just maybe, there's a lesson in that for the rest of us.